All right, we got the legendary Chop Chop in the building, man. What's up, OG? How you doing?
A busy day.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, no, I appreciate you pulling up, man. Doing this sit down with me, man. I appreciate it for real.
No doubt. You're welcome, man.
All right, so just getting into it, man. Legendary boxer, but you from DC, man. So, what was your upbringing like? Growing up in DC during like the '80s and the '90s.
I had fun, man. I enjoyed growing up in the city as a kid. Just being a young child, man, in the projects, having fun. But as you get older, you know how things change when the drugs come involved. So, I mean, I experienced it all. I seen it all. Lost a lot of good friends. A lot of fighters who was in the ring boxing could have been world champions, but they chose the streets, or the streets got them caught up.
Well, how did you was you able to like stay away from the streets and focus on boxing, or was it hard for you to stay away from that lifestyle?
Um, it wasn't hard for me. I knew what I wanted
Hmm.
at the age of 11 years old. When I got into boxing, I wanted to become a professional fighter. So all the other fighters used to tell me growing up, man, you can't play boxing. You got to be committed. You got to dedicate yourself to it. You can't be in the gym and out the gym. You got to be 100% focused. And that stuck with me with Mark Johnson, Sean Bay Mitchell, Keith Holmes, all the other guys who was getting ready to go pro. And knowing Sugar Ray Leonard was from the DMV area, he was already an Olympic medalist, and he was a world champion. And my focus was to just stay in the gym and don't get caught up with my friends being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because when you hit that teenage stage, you know you want to go out and have fun. And I was a young teenager. I did that. Went out, hit the clubs and everything.
So how did you like first like get introduced to boxing?
At the recreation center, which was Kenilworth, where I went to school at Kenilworth Elementary School.
Hmm.
And then after school, we would go down to the rec center and play ping pong, shoot pool. They had a little craft room where you do ceramics and make little stuff, souvenirs. And then they had basketball. Then they had brick camp. At 7 o'clock, they would have a boxing program where the kids would go in there and they would start practicing at 7 o'clock from 7 to 9. And we used to see them in there boxing, shadow boxing, hitting the bag and stuff. And some of the kids would be spawned. And I said, that look interesting. It's just like fighting, but they just got gloves and a headgear on. And me, I ain't mind fighting someone at the age of 10 years old. I like to fight. You growing up in the projects, I mean, somebody take something from you or somebody steal your bike and you know who got it. Hey,
Hmm.
we gonna fight. So I got into it, looked at it, and asked my mother, can I participate in boxing? And a lot of people don't know over the years, me growing up as a young kid, I was born with asthma. And that was one of my pressure points where it didn't allow me to do the things that normal kids do, like run track, play football, because if I play in the grass, I have asthma attack because I'm allergic to grass and pollen. So my mother didn't want me to box. So I begged her and begged her. In the meantime, of me begging her, I'm down there practicing. So by the time 4 or 5 months go by of me practicing, it's time for the silver gloves coming up. No, it's the Junior Olympics. It was in December. And I needed the permission slip to get signed. So I begged her, asked her. She's like, I told you you can't box, you got asthma. You get hit in your chest, you can have an asthma attack, which I understood. And it was times when I would go jogging around the track field. And after I run around one time, I'll be wheezing. So I had to take a break, and all the other kids continue to jog. So I knew what my asthma was, how it was affecting me as far as being an athlete. But I
Hmm.
was dedicated.
Hmm.
And she finally gave in and said, yeah, if you lose this fight, then you can't box. But if you win, then I'll let you box. And I won my first fight, and that was just history right there.
How was your mentality going into your first fight? Like, was you like nervous, or like what was your mindset?
I ain't gonna lie, I'd be lying if I say I wasn't nervous, but it was fun. It was just like I'm about to have my first amateur bout. I'm about to go out here and fight. I can beat him. I'm pretty sure he's saying he can beat me, but at the end of the day, whoever worked the hardest is going to get the decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I went out there, I fought, I let my hands go, I took some punches, but I got the decision, and it just made me more motivated, wanted to learn better, do more.
After you got your first win, like what made you like want to stick with boxing? Like was it like a specific moment where you knew like this is what you were supposed to do?
Nah, I didn't know that what I was supposed to do at the age of 11 years old. What made me stick with it? I was just a little boy, and I like sports. I like basketball. I like track. I like tennis. Um, I like soccer, but some sports I'm not able to play, and also boxing allow you one on one. It's discipline. It ain't no team when it comes to boxing. It's
Mm-hmm.
you and your opponent. Basketball, you got four other players on the court. Football, you got 10 other players on the court plus you on the field. I don't like to lose. I know you win some, you lose some. That comes with the sport. But it's more appreciated when you win and you really deserve it once you put the work in. So I knew one on one was gonna be my sport. Like I play horseshoes competitive now. I'm in the league. That's one on one. I bowl. I'm in the bowl. I bowl one on one. I like the team sports, but I don't like to lose.
So in '95, you had won the National Golden Gloves. What was that like for you? Like how big of a moment was that for you in your amateur career?
That was very big for me because I was the only one out of 14 boxers out of the DMV area to win the National Golden Gloves that year. It was 14 of us went to, I think it was Lowell, Mass for the Nationals, and you had to fight every day. We call that joker the 6 days of hell in May, from May 1st through May 6th. You had to fight, make weight, and win. You make weight, you win, you fight the next day. So those 6 days, I had to make weight and fight. And I was fighting at 139 then.
So you talked a little bit earlier about Sugar Ray's influence. Like when people think of DC boxing legends, like Sugar Ray's like one of the top names that comes up. What influence did he have on you, like growing up in the city?
He didn't have no influence on me growing up in the city. I didn't really start looking at Ray until I got much older, but I knew who he was, and he won the gold medal. And
Mm-hmm.
he was a flashy fighter. He do the shuffle, the Ali shuffle, and he used to do a lot of combination when he in there fighting, when he throw a lot of punches. I seen highlights of him fighting on TV, but he didn't inspire me to push myself. I started studying boxing, looking at other fighters because I was a southpaw fighter, so I'm gonna study a southpaw
Mm-hmm.
so I can mimic their style, the way they move and box. And that boxer was Pernell Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
He's my first idol, and I studied with him, learned from him. And then as I got older, I started looking at Marvin Hagler because I got more aggressive, I got more power punches in my punches, and I just took everything I got from all the older fighters, the knowledge, working with Frankie Randall, Simon Brown, Keith Holmes, Sean Bay Mitchell, Mark Johnson. These are Hall of Fame fighters that I was working with. And I just took all the knowledge and I just learned from them.
In '96, that's when you debuted. That was your first fight. You had fought in your hometown too, right? You fought in DC. Aaron Smith, that's who you was fighting your first fight, right?
At my high school, H.D. Wilson,
Talk about that. What was that like?
it was exciting. It was fun. To turn pro, to know that I'm about to be a professional fighter, that's what I was thinking. I'm about to be a professional boxer. Man, no headgear, because that's what you worry about. The gloves are smaller and you don't have to wear headgear. I said, oh man, I'm about to tear this joker up. I wasn't too much worried about someone tearing me up because I knew I can fight. So I mean, you get hit. Boxing is a sport, and you're going to get hit. But if you're not willing to get hit, then you shouldn't be in that sport.
Is that thing that a lot of fighters had to like work on, like not worrying about getting hit?
I would say yeah and no. You're going to get hit, so don't even think about it.
Hmm.
But you got shields, which is a left hand and a right hand. Those are your shields to block punches.
Hmm.
Then you also got your head to move, to slip punches. And you learn to master those right there, moving, slipping punches, blocking punches with your hands. You have a good career
Hmm.
on top of leave the drinking and the smoking alone.
So when you turned pro, like was it like any pressure or like expectation? Because you had a solid amateur career, so it's already hype, an expectation that you're supposed to be even better at the pro level. Like, did you have any like expectations or like any pressure that you was facing?
If I'm thinking back correctly, no, I didn't have no pressure. I just knew I wanted to look good. And my one of my idols was Camacho. He was another southpaw I watched and studied. But he was flashy. And I liked the way he dressed when he came out there for the fight. His attire, it was always flamboyant. And I mimicked my role wear off of him.
What was your mindset like? As a young pro, you're trying to make it in such a crowded boxing scene. What was your mindset like?
My mindset at that time was entertainment.
Hmm.
Always looked at, I'm in here, I'm performing because I watched the older fighters, Sugar Ray Leonard. He was an entertainer. He's boxing, he's fighting, but he's entertaining the crowd. He's selling himself. When Sean Bay used to fight, he wore flamboyant outfits. He was entertaining the crowd. When Mark Johnson fought, he wore nice, flashy outfits. He entertained. And
Hmm.
that's what the crowd want to see. They want to see entertainment. They want to see you come out that ring looking fly and flashy. And all the guys that was coming to the fights were wearing they jewelry, they nice polos, sweatsuits and stuff.
Like from the jump, you was pretty much fighting killers. Like you wasn't fighting no slouches. Like you was fighting them dudes when you first started. Like, so was that like was that by design? Like that's how you wanted it that way?
No, we just wasn't ducking nobody. We fought everybody. When I signed with Don King in 1996, that was my first promoter. Sugar Ray Leonard was my first manager, and he co-managed me with JD Brown. And they said, "Chop, we're gonna get you the fights. Are you gonna fight? Are you gonna pick and choose who you want to fight?" I said, "I want to fight. I'm trying to make money. I want to help my mother. I want to fight." So whenever they say I had a fight, I stayed ready. I took fights on 2 week notice coming up in my career. Right now to this day, if we got a date, all I need is 3 to 4 weeks to get ready. That's timing wise. My weight is already there. I'm 142 pounds.
What was it like being having Don King as your promoter? He's one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary promoters ever. What was that like?
Well, I appreciate DK, him and the company for everything they done for me. He opened up doors that wasn't there for me to be open, giving me opportunity to become world champion. Not one time, but 2 times. When I won the USBA title, that was my first world title. And then I fought for the WBO title, and I took that fight on a 5 day notice. I wasn't scheduled to fight him, but they needed someone to fill in.
So you had like pretty much all good, good interactions with Don King.
100%. We have no quarrels when it comes to DK.
How was it like being managed by Sugar Ray? We talked about the legend that he is. What was that like having him as a manager?
It was great, man. I learned a lot from Ray, man. And I learned more from Ray on the business side than I learned in the boxing ring because Ray was always business when he stepped out of that building. Out of the gym, it was always about business. When he in the gym, it's gym time. But when he's outside, once he leave the gym, it's all about business. I seen how he conduct himself in meetings. I listened to him talk and how he market himself. And that's what a lot of young fighters don't know how to do. They don't know how to sell themselves, market themselves so they can get more.
Do you feel like that's one of the problems with, you said, like some of today's fighters, they don't know how to promote themselves and market themselves.
Correct, yeah, because they looking at boxing as a balanced sport when it come to disrespecting each other, calling each other niggas, and they always want to hold their hands up like they got a gun. They got the finger on the trigger. Boxing ain't about that. It's about entertainment and selling yourself because it's a sport. But don't know companies want to represent no fighters because how they dress, how they carry themselves. They have out here drinking, doing what they want to do in the clubs. You can't get no endorsements from nobody like that.
How were you as far as like in your early days as a pro? You getting all this fame and notoriety, you getting money. Was it easy for you to kind of like stay focused and not like kind of like get distracted by all the things around you?
I'm a very humble fighter, man. And I knew learning from Sugar Ray Leonard and Pernell Whitaker was my mentor also. They talked to me growing up in the pros. As I was working my way up in the rankings and becoming a world champion, Ray talked to me, Pernell Whitaker talked to me, Frankie Randall talked to me, Muhammad Ali, he spoke with me before. I talked with Marvin Hagler. I had an opportunity to meet these legendary fighters, and they would give me good knowledge because I asked questions. I wanted to know.
Well, so what was it like, being in the room with those guys? Like they giving you one on one advice about, how to stay on the right path. What was that like for you?
I was in heaven, spawn Pernell Whitaker, spawn Sugar Ray Leonard, spawn Frankie Randall. Man, them three guys right there, I couldn't ask for nothing else. I learned from some of the best, man.
How did you get the nickname Chop Chop? How did that name come about?
Chop Chop came about in Nashville, Tennessee in the Silver Gloves. I went out there, made it to the Nationals, and I was fighting at 65 pounds. We got there, we drove, and all the fighters wanted to check their weight before they go out and eat and get ready for bed because we had to weigh in the next morning. And I got on the scale, I was like 65 pounds and a half or 65 flat. I was right there at weight. So my trainer at that time was Kenny Mallard. And he said, look, you right there on weight. We're going out to eat. You need to eat a salad. Because you eat a salad, it's just pretty much vegetables and drink water. It's going to run right through you. I said, okay, I'm going to have a salad. But you can't watch 20 something kids and keep your eye on everybody, make sure everybody eat right. I had a salad with bacon bits and some cucumbers and cheese on it and sour cream. I had a nice salad. But around the corner, at the next two tables, I was eating other people's food. I had some burgers, some French fries. I had a chocolate sundae. We went to Wendy's. I remember we went to Wendy's. And man, I went from 60. I ate more than what I should have ate because I went from 65 pounds to 75 pounds within the next 12 hours. And when I got on the scale, I weighed 75 pounds. My trainer said, you chopped that food up. What did you eat? He said, now you got to move up in weight. He said, I'm going to call you Chop Chop. And ever since then, Chop Chop been my name.
Did you like that nickname at first, or did you not like it?
Oh, I liked it because Chop Chop. I'm a chop. I moved up in weight and I had to I fought Danny Ramirez, who's a Hall of Fame fighter. I fought him in the championship. I lost, but I got an opportunity to fight Danny Ramirez, which is a Hall of Fame fighter at 11 years old.
So when they gave you the nickname Chop Chop, that was you pretty much took that and ran with it. Like it was just something that stuck.
That stuck. Chop Chop. I come to chop you up. But no one, they never knew that Chop Chop came from me eating. I like to eat. I chop chop. I chop my food up.
So kind of moving on to like 2001, that's when you won the WBO junior welterweight title. Talk about, what it was like to be a world champion finally.
It was amazing. I was in the gym on Tuesday at round one, and we got a phone call from the president of Don King Production, which was Dana Jameson. And she asked me, she said, hey, Chop. My manager at that time was Kirk Cashwell. We had departed from Sugar Ray Leonard. Ray had stopped managing fighters and went into promoting. So we had Kirk Cashwell and Gary Lee, who was managing me. And we got a phone call because Kirk used to manage Sean Bay Mitchell as well. So we got a phone call while we was in the gym training. We knew the fight. They had a card coming up on Showtime. And I think it was July 29th or June 29th. It was Randall Bailey. No, it was Enir Julio supposed to be fighting Felix Flores. And it was all advertised on Showtime. That fight was coming up. And I'm like, yeah. I was scheduled to fight on the undercard. And I was like, okay, I'm getting ready, but we never had an opponent. So the week of the fight, that Tuesday, we get the phone call. Hey, Chop, this Dana. Hey, Dana, how you doing? We got a little opportunity for you. We want to know would you be willing to fight for the title. I said, how am I gonna fight for the title? Julio and Flores is fighting for the title because Enir Julio was champion. She said, Enir, come to find out, he has cataract. He has to go have eye surgery. He's going to vacate the title, and you're going to fight Flores for the title, the vacant title, and the winner got to fight Enir Julio once he come back from eye surgery. Whoever wins got to give Enir a shot at the title because he's still champion pretty much. I said, okay, yeah, I'll fight him. It's 12. She said, it's 12 rounds. I said, okay. I've been 12 rounds before because I won the USBA title against Enir Julio for that fight. I already fought Enir, but that was a tough fight. I didn't want to fight Enir again. And the game plan, we watched Enir Julio fight a couple other fights back, and we seen how he was going to prepare. And then we watched Flores. We watched Flores fight Sean Bay Mitchell a few months before he got the Enir fight. We seen how Flores was preparing and throwing his punches against Sean Bay. So we set some traps for him, and we had a game plan going into that fight. It was scheduled for 12 rounds, but we knew we would get him out of there within 12.
So when you finally ended up winning, what was that moment like?
It was a happy moment, one of the happiest moments of my life. It let me know that I made it. I accomplished my goal, my dream. I done it. I became what I wanted to become. I set out to become a world champion. I done it.
How did your life change after winning that title?
Um, I became more noticeable, notoriety. People knew me more. I was never a flamboyant person like that, but I just like nice things. So I went and got me a four-wheeler and some dirt bikes, and I like to ride and have fun.
Did it kind of take? Did you kind of pretty much kept your focus? Like you didn't like slack off or anything?
Oh nah, I learned from the older fighters growing up. You got to stay dedicated to this. Just because you win a fight, you can't take off from the gym 2, 3 months out of the gym. No, after I won the title, I took 5 days out of the gym, that 1 week off, and then I was back in the gym because I knew I had to get ready for Enir Julio. And I knew once I beat Enir, more doors would be open, the purses would get bigger, and then there were other champions that I wanted to fight.
You was able to successfully defend your title. You had some good title defenses. Like what did those title defenses mean to you? Like you being able to say, hey, I'm not just no you know one time champ. Like I can hold this belt. Like what did that mean to you?
It meant that I can fight. I'm defending my title. I'm not letting no one take it. I just didn't win it by luck. I won it and then I defended it once and I defended it twice. And then I lost my third defense against Zab Judah. And I couldn't get a rematch.
So kind of touching on that, like what do you remember about that fight? Like the fight with Zab Judah.
That fight was personal because prior to me and Zab fighting each other, we had an altercation back in January or February up in Philadelphia at the Bernard Hopkins fight. And that altercation escalated to us making the fight happen. It was a fist fight where me and Zab got into it and his brothers. And Don King said, "Why y'all fighting and not making no money? Let's make the fight happen so we can get paid." And that's how Zab got a title shot. I wasn't scheduled to fight Zab or nothing.
So the you said the altercation. Did y'all like y'all didn't have like no any history prior to that? It's just kind of like was a thing y'all got into it at that moment, or was it any backstory behind it or no?
No backstory behind it. I mean, Zab, we win the Golden Gloves together. He lost. I won the Golden Gloves that year. We would have fought each other, but he lost to Chantel Stancier from St. Louis, and I
Hmm.
beat Chantel in the championship. And then we knew we would run across each other. Both of us southpaws. Both of us worked with Pernell Whitaker. He was with Lou Duva and them, and we were bound to meet each other eventually. But when we was in a building with each other, two champions that want to fight each other, somebody always going to have some words to say just to try to build up to make the fight happen. And guys from New York, them young guys back then, they be popping off of the mouth like DC guys are suckers. So words was exchanged, and I know a New Yorker joker, they quick to sneak you. DC guys, we just talk a lot. We ain't about sneaking nobody. We're gonna fight. We're gonna go ahead and all right. We both gonna step out there and get ready. But
Hmm.
New Yorkers, they will sneak your ass quick. Right now to this day, I think they still a sneak you. Them young ones, they don't even sneak nobody no more. They shooting. Zab, he snuck me. He sucker punched me, and then the fight broke out, and then they broke it up. Don King said, "Why y'all fighting for free? Let's make the fight happen and get paid."
So after the fight, you said that you weren't able to get a rematch. What was the reason for that?
Because Zab barely won the fight. He won the fight by split decision. And he knew if he gave me a rematch, I was gonna beat his ass.
Mhm.
So he vacated the title and went up to 147 and fought Corey Spinks, which I don't disagree why you do it. It's making more money and it's fighting for undisputed welterweight title. You want to be welterweight champion, but he didn't beat Corey the first time. They've turned around and do it again. The second time he knocked Corey out, which he could have. I think if the first fight Corey won or was a draw, he could have came back down to 140 and defended his title with me, but he did a second fight with Corey Spinks. And I know why. The money was there. The money was good. So,
Does that kind of like bother you that you was never able to get that rematch?
oh, that thing lived with me for a long time because it was personal because of what they did to
Hmm.
make the fight, the way the fight happened. We fist fought. They jumped us. They jumped me and my friend Mimi up there in New Jersey at the press conference. So it was personal. And I told them, to the day I die, I'm going to get your ass back. And it wasn't talking about get your ass back in the ring. So when Floyd was getting ready for Manny Pacquiao, we were in training camp in Vegas. The same way he sucker punched me, I got his ass back in the parking lot. Yeah, but it wasn't no. He got me with one punch. I got him with four punches. I knocked Zab ass down, and then his boys and them try to chase me and whatnot. Then Zab pulled out a knife after he got himself together, and he chased me up through Mayweather parking lot at the gym with a knife, but he couldn't catch the black chopper. I was running like Hussein Bolt with flip flops on. I ran so fast. I ran out my flip flops and ran through my socks. I burnt the skin off the bottom of my feet.
Was it any like retaliation attempt on his end, or did it he pretty much knew that was his payback for what happened before?
Nah, it wasn't no retaliation. We had to come to agreement. We talked. Floyd and them got involved, and we squashed a little beef and everything. I apologized to him and told him why I hit him, and I only did what he did to me back in 2003. He said, "But I wasn't gonna sucker punch you. I was just talking to you in the parking lot." I said, "Zab, I know you. You a New Yorker, nigga. You do it once, you do it again." So I apologized to him, and then we shook hands and everything, and we just squashed it. But we never got a chance to do the rematch because I talked to Floyd about it, and Floyd wanted to do the rematch. He was gonna put it on Showtime, but he said, "Zab, you gotta come and talk to me if you want to do the rematch." Chop just can't tell me he want to do the rematch. So Zab like, "Nah, I don't want to do no rematch. I ain't giving him no rematch." So I put it out there on social media. I said he's scared to give me a rematch. He a punk. He a pussy. He a fake ass New Yorker. I never called him a bitch. And when he had stepped to me, when I did that on a Friday over social media, he came in and Jim asked me what was all this shit I'm saying on Instagram, calling him out his name. I said, I ain't call you no bitch. I called you a punk, a pussy, a fake ass New Yorker. And then he said, "What?" And I knew what he was about to do. I got his ass first. But we cool. That's my buddy now. We good.
I was about to say, so every like your status with him today, y'all pretty much squashed everything. It's in the past.
It's buried in the grave. I can call him right now and chop it up with him and see who he got for me to fight if he got somebody. Cause I'm still fighting. I ain't retired yet.
So you faced some of the greatest. You faced Floyd, Miguel Cotto, Devin Alexander, and all of them. Who do you feel like was your toughest opponent that you ever faced?
Floyd was the toughest and the smartest. He was. He's a very smart fighter.
What do you think was so challenging about going up against Floyd? You said he was a smart fighter, but how do you plan for somebody like Floyd?
With the game plan for that fight, working with Don Turner and Andrew Council, the game plan was to make Floyd fight. You don't give Floyd a chance to think and box. He's a hell of a boxer and he's a great thinker. And if you let him think, he'll outthink your ass and win the round. The game plan was to keep that motherfucker fighting, make him fight, make him fight. And the first 4 rounds, that's what we were doing. We were making them fight, making them exchange with me, getting in shootouts. Because I knew Floyd, he don't punch harder than me. And if I catch him, I can hurt him and get him out of there. I knew if he catch me, he can't get me out of there. I can take a punch. Floyd don't ball his fists up when he punching. That's why he's so quick. His hands are halfway closed, and he throws his punches real quick. So when we landed almost that power ball, we tried to finish him, but wasn't able to get the job done. Come to find out, I'm anemic. My blood don't produce enough oxygen to keep me fighting at a high stamina. When I start out the gate at one pace, my pace dies down after my blood loses oxygen.
Knowing what you knew now, if you could like redo that fight or have a rematch, would you have went? Would you have had like a different approach?
Oh, 100%. If he give me an exhibition, I'll have a different approach.
What? How can you say what that? How you would approach it or not?
Or I will have my body going through different chambers, getting the proper oxygen, making sure I'm getting my body 100% prepared for the fitness that I'm about to take on. And then I'm much older now. I'm still competing at the same weight 25 years later.
That was the fight where he infamously told you stop crying and fight. What do you remember about that? Like why do you feel like he told you that?
Because I was complaining to the ref about him putting his forearm up in my throat, in my neck. And if you watch the fight, you'll see him using his forearm. He uses that a lot. And the ref wasn't saying anything about it.
You didn't like that he was telling you that? Did that make you feel some type of way?
Now, I wasn't worried about that. I wanted the ref to do his job, tell Floyd stop using his forearm. But he didn't, so it's just a fight.
Where do you feel like he ranks as far as like the all time great fighters? Like did you had first up close and personal experience with him in the ring. How do you feel about him as a fighter all time?
He's one of the all time greatest, man. He's a bad motherfucker. That motherfucker's smart. He know how to maneuver his way around that motherfucking square to get the decision. He know it's 3 judges that's judging the fight, and he know I'm gonna do just enough so the judges can see I'm winning. I'm getting hit and not get hit. I'm using ring generalship. I'm moving. I'm touching them up, and I'm using my defense. I mean, Shakur Stevenson do the same thing, but he does it boring. Floyd was set in the pocket and do his shit. Shakur keep moving and running.
That's been kind of a critique of Floyd's career, that a lot of his fights kind of boring. Do you feel like from a boxing standpoint, anybody who's a boxing fan, like a true boxing fan, would enjoy his fights just because of the technicality behind what he's doing?
People would still enjoy his fights, but back then people didn't understand the art of boxing the way people verbally talk about it now. A lot of people say, that's not boxing when you keep moving around the ring. They just want to see motherfuckers get in there and throw punches and fight, get hit. But over the years, fighters don't do good when they keep getting hit upside the head. They take too many punches. But it's not coming from the punches all the time. It's coming from what the fighters do outside the ring. A lot of people don't speak on that. You've been boxing for 20 years, you've been drinking for 10 years, your body been getting hit upside the head for 12 years. You've been taking on damage and damage and damage. And you putting liquor, alcohol in your body. You're smoking weed, you're getting high. That's a wear and tear on your body also. So when you hit 40 years old, 45 years old, your body can't perform the way it used to perform when it was 25 years old. My body can't perform the way it performed when I was 25 years old. But my condition is still the same. I just move a little slower now.
Was ever with like CTE or any type of Parkinson's, a lot of the complications that certain fighters end up getting later in life, was that ever something that worried you?
It never worried me, but I thought about it within the last 10 years. Seeing a lot of young fighters, Mark Breland, who has difficulties now with his illness.
Hmm.
Um, Muhammad Ali, he passed with his. Freddie Roach, he got his little shaking thing going on. A lot of fighters, man, going through their illness, and a lot of people say it come from the boxing. I truly don't believe it all come from boxing. It come from more than just getting hit upside the head. It's the way the young fighters, they're not young no more, but it's where the old fighters used to take care of their body. They didn't take care of their body the way they should take care of their body now.
How do you feel like your boxing style has like had to change like over the years, like as you've gotten more experienced?
It changed because I learned so much from the older fighters, more wisdom. Watching Bernard Hopkins, which is one of the best crafty fighters out there, when it comes to breaking a fighter down, breaking your opponent down, hitting him with shots when the ref is on one side and you hit him on the other side with the other hand, hit him on the hip. Miguel Cotto, one of the great fighters, broke me down, hit me on my hip, hit me so hard on my hip, my leg went numb. Throwing little shots the ref don't see to break your opponent down.
So kind of following up on the Miguel Cotto, like you when you fought him, what was the what was your mindset like going into that fight?
I was worried because I was in Puerto Rico. And the reason I was worried because the day of the weigh-in, there was a guy trying to stick me with a knife that they had to lock up at the
Mm.
weigh-in. Yeah, he wanted to stab me. And security there, they handcuffed him, took the knife from him, all because I'm fighting one of their fighters. I said, damn, it's like that? But you got to remember when Bernard Hopkins threw that Puerto Rican flag down, they would have killed them if they caught Bernard in Puerto Rico that day.
How close did he get to you as far as the dude with the knife?
With like 5 feet, within 5 feet, and security grabbed him. And my team was all standing around and everything. Security got him.
So you already had like you know like some things you were dealing with before the fight even started.
I wouldn't say dealing with it, was just I knew my job was to fight. So the police took care of him. Let's fight now. That's out the way.
How did you feel after that fight?
We thought we got robbed. The
Hmm.
referee stopped the fight premature because I got up and I was ready to fight. And he didn't want me to continue because he knew I was going to get caught up.
Anytime you ever lose a fight, is there always something in the back of your mind that makes you go, if I'd have done this different, I could have won, or if this would have happened, I could have did that better, things like that.
Nah, thinking I never had them thoughts because I knew I prepared myself 100% when it came to all my fights. I worked my ass off. I can't say if I would have done this, if I would have done more of that, because I put the work in when it came to me getting ready for a fight because I didn't want to lose. When I lost to Devin Alexander, Devin was the better man that day. He outworked me. He done enough to let the judges see he won the fight. I didn't land that shot to get his ass.
So in 2002, you stepped away from boxing for a little minute, to look after your brother's kids. What was that chapter of your life like?
It was good. I mean, we were hurting from losing my brother and knowing that you know the guy who killed your brother and you went to school with him. He used to box. That was rough. I mean, I was on some revenge shit back then, and I had to settle down and find myself because I was going out there doing thinking trying to find a nigga. I was doing some bads. I was on top of the roof, man. I had an R30 rifle with a scope on it. Yeah, I was gonna do some bad stuff, but I had to think about my wife and my kids and my mother. I got rid of the R30, and police was watching me and everything because they thought I was gonna have someone to do it for me, but nah, I ain't about to have nobody do nothing for me. I'm gonna do my own work because I don't need nobody snitching.
What lessons from boxing do you feel like helped you during that time? If you took any lessons from boxing, do you feel like there was anything you learned from boxing that helped you during that hard time in your life?
I look at it like boxing is a sport. You win some, you lose some. In life, you win some, you lose some. I lost my brother. I gotta still get up and keep going. I gotta keep fighting. It's a loss, but life still goes on at the end of the day.
Right.
It's a hurting loss at that.
How do you feel about the fighters out of the DMV now? Like I talked to Jamal Harvey a while ago. He, competed in the Olympics, and then obviously we got Lamont Roach. Like how do you feel about today's DMV fighters?
I feel great about him. Lamar is doing great. He beat Tank, but he didn't get the decision, so he's gonna redo it again in July. Lamont was one of my sparring partners getting ready for a couple of my fights, and Lamar Uncle Roach was my trainer, Boogaloo. He was my trainer, and we all sparred together, getting ready for Felix Flores, Randall Bailey, Devin Alexander. So I sparred with Lamont a couple of times,
Hmm.
and then I reached out to Lamont to help him for the Tank fight, but they didn't get back with me. I guess they didn't want the work.
How do you feel about him as a fighter?
He's great. He has evolved into a man now. He's not a little boy no more. He's not that little Lamont that used to spar me 10 years ago. He's the grown man. He's a different Lamont now.
So looking back on your career, even though your career is still going, like what moment of your career are you the most proud of?
Becoming world champion. That means so much to me because I stayed ready. Like Lamont and Tank got to get ready for their fight. They're fighting what, July or August?
I think it's September actually.
Oh wow. See, they got months. They got to get ready. It's taking them months
Hmm.
preparation. I stay ready. I ain't got to worry about no weight issues. All I do is go in there and start prepping with the timing, accuracy, punching power. 4 weeks time. That's it. My condition. I run. I stay running. That's my moment right there. A phone call came in on a 5 day notice, scheduled for 12 rounds. We could have did 12. I would have just boxed them and made them look bad. But the door was open for me to finish him, and I finished him.
Do you feel like you get the respect you deserve in the boxing world?
I would say yeah in the world, but not in the media. In the boxing side,
Like in what way?
a lot of not just me, a lot of other fighters, world champions, they don't get that recognition that they should get when they go to the fights. The promoters, they treat fighters like prostitutes at the end of the day. You're
Right.
only good enough for them when you're able to work. If you're
Right.
not working no more, promoters don't give a fuck about you. But yet, Pernell Whitaker made you all this money when he's promoted by you, but now he's not promoted by you no more. He's retired. He's done. He want to come to the fight and see the other fighters, the younger fighters fight. You can't even give him a ticket. He can't even get a credential to come to the press conference.
What fight do you feel like that you've had? What fight do you feel like best defines who Chop Chop was?
I will go all the way back to my amateur days then. We fought at the Taj Mahal, Atlantic City. It was the regionals, I think the Golden Glove regionals. And they let you come in off your little music when you come out for the fight. I was always Chop Chop, but I used to be the body snatcher. and they used to call me the body snatcher. And they had the go-go band back then. I think Northeast Groovers used to play it. Here come the
Okay.
body snatcher. I came out off of that go-go song. Cause I had a vicious right uppercut and a hook. I would throw them body shots and I would just make them fighters crumble. They say, here come the body snatcher. A chop chop. Here come the body snatcher. I miss them go-go days, man.
How do you feel like boxing has changed, like from when you was coming up, or and from when you was in your heyday to now?
Fighters don't fight the same. It changed. Fighters don't fight the same. They don't do it's not disciplined training the way it used to be. But in due over time, everything gotta be upgraded, moderated, different training resumes and stuff. I understand that. Like these young fighters, they ain't about here running out in the cold when the wintertime comes. I'm gonna run on the treadmill.
So when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
He was one hell of a fighter who was going down in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He ducked nobody. He fought everyone. He left a mark in the sport of boxing with 90 something fights. Because I'm going to get me 90 fights. I'm going to have 90 something. I got 89 now.
Mhm.
And we trying to get one or two more in. So
All right, well, chop, man. Thank you for pulling up, sitting down with me, man. I appreciate you, bro. It really means a lot, OG.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir.